the Iran-backed Houthi militia attacked a Chinese ship. So far, they don't seem to care. But this is a bizarre response from China. Why don't they make a bigger deal? Welcome to China Uncensored. I'm Chris Chappell. Last week, the Iran-backed Houthi militia in control of Yemen attacked a Chinese ship in the Red Sea, despite a deal not to. And China was outraged because they would never, ever mess with ships from another country. What kind of karma, outrage is this? It was the early hours of the morning on March 23rd. The sun was shining. There was a light breeze. And the Chinese-owned and operated oil tanker, the Huangpu, was minding its own business as it sailed through the Red Sea, when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, came 4 Houthi-launched anti-ship ballistic missiles, and a 5th missile which struck the ship. After that, all hell broke loose. There were explosions, and... oh, what's that, Shelley? Oh, actually, the ship just kept going. They don't make missiles like they used to. The Huangpu did issue a distress call received by the U.S. Central Command, but it didn't require assistance. It reported a fire on board that was quickly extinguished and no casualties, because getting hit with missiles isn't nearly as scary as upsetting the CCP by not doing your job. You're still breathing? Get back to work. But this is a huge deal. A Chinese ship has been attacked. Surely Beijing is furious. Oh, actually, so far they don't seem to care. In fact, it was the U.S. military that intervened, engaging 6 Houthi drones, 5 of which crashed into the Red Sea. Yes, you heard me correctly, the U.S. military came to the rescue of a Chinese oil tanker. To be fair, the U.S. is the leader of an international coalition intended to protect Red Sea shipping, so that's why. Now, don't get me wrong, the CCP hasn't been completely silent regarding the Houthi attack. In a press briefing, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Lin Jian said that China has always opposed attacks on civilian ships and advocates maintaining the safety of waterways in the Red Sea waters in accordance with international law. Right, the same international law that China openly flouts in the South China Sea. But Lin followed that up with a reminder of where the CCP's loyalties lie, saying, at the same time, China believes that the international community should quell the war in Gaza as soon as possible and create necessary conditions to cool down the situation in the Red Sea. But this is a bizarre response from China. Why don't they make a bigger deal out of their ship being attacked? What's going on? Well, keep watching because I'll tell you in a moment, but first, it helps to understand what's going on in the Red Sea. After Hamas, another Iran-backed group, attacked Israel on October 7th of last year, the Houthis started attacking shipping lanes in the Red Sea. In solidarity, you understand. But the Houthis had previously promised not to attack Chinese or Russian ships in the region, due to their anti-Western, pro-Palestinian, and pro-Iranian political stances. In fact, some experts say the attack on the Huangpu was most likely a mistake instead of a deliberate attack. In return, China and Russia also promised political support to the militant group in exchange for safety in the Red Sea shipping lanes, which has mostly worked out for China. In general, China has remained quiet on the Houthi attacks in the Red Sea. They rejected an invitation to join a U.S.-led international coalition dedicated to striking the Houthis in Yemen. Why? Well, the reason is because China is good friends with Iran. Remember, the Houthis are backed by Iran. China has been helping Iran mitigate Western sanctions and provided diplomatic cover to the Ayatollah regime for years now. China is Iran's top buyer of oil. It's investing heavily in Iranian ports. Meanwhile, the two countries are working together on a blue water friendship, creating blue water navies that could threaten the West and their allies in the Indo-Pacific. China and Iran also recently held joint naval drills with Russia in the Gulf of Oman, known as the 2024 Marine Security Belt. Since the Houthi movement is backed by Iran, this incident could have easily been a serious setback in Iran-China relations, and neither side wants that. That's why China isn't taking it personally. The problem is, the Houthis are starting to be a real drag on China's plans and ambitions. Beijing wants to position itself as a major global military power. And China built its first overseas military base in Djibouti, which is right at the mouth of the Red Sea. Doesn't make China's military look too strong if they don't do anything about attacks on shipping lanes in the Red Sea, especially when it's a US ship that comes to the rescue of a Chinese ship. But this is the other trouble. China's economy is struggling. Instability in the Red Sea does not help. China relies heavily on the Red Sea and the Suez Canal for trade with major partners such as the EU. But the biggest issue with Houthi attacks in the Red Sea is that they disrupt China's string of pearls. The so-called string of pearls strategy describes a series of Chinese Belt and Road Initiative projects in the Indian Ocean basin, along with shipping routes through those projects. Strangely enough, these Chinese investments form a circle around India, one of China's key economic competitors on the world stage, for no reason at all, I'm sure. And now, China's just left clutching their pearls as their plan crumbles around them. Both Sri Lanka and Pakistan have gone bankrupt. China's debt-trap diplomacy definitely played a part. That's led the whole African side of the string of pearls to be a little nervous about China's hidden intentions in Africa. Even some Iranians are not happy with China's growing clout in their country. And now with the Houthis destabilizing the Red Sea, the whole thing is falling apart. That's why China is quietly lobbying Iran to rein in the Houthis, threatening that business with the Islamic Republic could be harmed if the Houthi attacks continue to intensify. Apparently, the Biden administration in January even urged Beijing to use its leverage to press Iran to halt the Houthi attacks. The problem is, China is trying to play all sides in the Middle East. That's not a functional strategy. The entire situation is a Jenga tower just waiting to topple, and the Houthis are pulling out pieces left and right. Maybe if the CCP stopped supporting terrorist regimes that violate human rights, their string of pearls would actually be worth a dime. Oh wait, that would first require China to not be a human rights violating and terror supporting regime itself. Whew. And this show would not be possible without what I call the China Uncensored 50-cent army, our supporters on Patreon. That's why I need your help. All it takes is $1 or more an episode on patreon.com/China Uncensored. I make about 16 episodes a month, but if that's too much for you, you can set a monthly limit. So you can ensure I can keep uncensoring China for even $1 a month. And as a thank you to everyone who gives on Patreon, I'll answer one of your questions at the end of these episodes. Today's question comes from Tomasz Gurik. Hey Chris and team, what's going on with these new dynamic intros lately? Is it an algorithm thing? Ah, you've noticed, Tomasz. Basically everything on YouTube is an algorithm thing. I've been trying something a little different to make the intros a little punchier and hopefully more engaging, keep people watching. But this is a great chance to ask everyone, what do you think of the new style of intros? Let me know in the comments, which is also an algorithm thing. Smash that like button as well. Oh yes, I am a professional YouTuber. Thanks for your question and your support, Tomasz. Be like Tomasz and hit that orange button to support the show on Patreon. And if you also want to support me, check out my new show, Deep Thoughts While Gaming, where I talk about controversial topics by hiding them in gaming content. Click on this one and let me know what you think. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching China Uncensored.